we need to get these facilities ready for, young stars to get themselves acquainted with sports, whatever sport that they really want to get into. So I think it's a great move by him to get these structures erected in and across the local government areas. That is going to be fantastic to help the young stars, revive their love and passion for whatever sport they want to get into.
Well, there's no way you can get your passion for sports developed if you don't have the facilities to own it, and I think that's what the chairman of the House Committee on Sports believes, and he wants to do across the 704 local government areas. But this is law, actual provision that has to do with the executive. We just hope that the law could be passed, and if the law is passed, we hope that it will be followed up with action from the executive. But across the country right now, let's look at facilities. We've seen a situation where there's some kind of, do I call it, lull. If you look at the popular sports, which is football, we still see the league management company not give approval to some teams to play at home because of poor facilities. It's high time, I should think, that we update our facilities to be at least of continental standard, if not world standard.
I agree. I think we don't have the facilities here. Imagine the stadium in Abuja. It was just renovated a couple of years back, and here it was, couldn't host 2 matches consecutively at a time. That is how poor the pitch is generally. So we need to upgrade our standards. There's no how we would be to host an AFCON, men or women, even the age grade tournament. I don't think any either CAF or FIFA would accredit that to even happen. So we need to upgrade our facilities. I can't even sit here and tell you that we have up to standard basketball courts in the country, in and around the country. Yeah, you go to the in-hall in Lagos as well as in Abuja. That's where, of course, most basketball games are played, especially in Lagos. But still, they're not up to standard, they're not up to grade. And Rwanda has taken that upon themselves. Well, I think Rwanda is the next bus stop for basketball in general and is working so well. We have the AfroBasket currently going on there in Rwanda. We have, the BAL, the Basketball Africa League, happening also in Rwanda every single year. For the 3rd edition, it happened there as well. So I think we need to upgrade. We need to get these facilities right. We need to make sure that they are in tip-top standard for us to, get the young stars fitted into the sports.
Just can't overemphasize the need for facilities across the country for young stars to hone and, of course, get their passion up to standard. They can earn a lot of money from it, and but first you have to have the facilities, and I think that's what the House Committee chairman, all the 704 local government areas, at least there will be preparatory grounds for going to the regions and maybe to the headquarters as well. Let's stay away from that and now go to the other story we have for you at this hour, and it has to do with wrestling. The Nigerian Wrestling Federation seems to be set to host a national classic because there's been readiness from feelers that the Nigerian Wrestling Federation wants to stage the 2nd Governor Diri National Wrestling Classic, where over 800 wrestlers are expected to converge for action at the indoor sports hall. To the 10th, just about 2 days from now, we will see top wrestlers, 800 of them across the country, gather in Bayelsa for the classic.
Yeah, I think first you have to commend the Bayelsa State government, Governor Diri and Governor, of course, what he has done, not just for wrestling and what he's doing generally. I think that's why you would say Bayelsa is now the current home of wrestling. Also, you have to commend the Commissioner of Sports in the state.
A couple of days to participate, and of course, it is an avenue to discover top wrestlers to represent Nigeria at the forthcoming Olympic Games in Paris 2024.
Yes, we've heard Blessing Judy for the longest of time. We've heard the likes of Udwanyo Adekuroye. We've heard Mercy Genesis. We need new names. We need new names to pop up. Yeah, in recent times we've seen Mercy Adekuroye to boss for ourselves. So yes, I think getting the young stars, finding them young, catching them young, would also help us get the best out of our athletes in major tournaments like the Olympics, like we did last time out.
Looking forward to discovering the young stars in wrestling and then hone the skills of those who are actually to represent Nigeria at the forthcoming Olympic Games in a couple of months' time from now in Paris. I'm talking about the Wrestling Federation. This is one federation in Nigeria that's been very busy of recent.
Yeah, they've been very busy. They've been attending one classic to the other, one Grand Prix to the other. Like Igali already said, they'll be heading to Serbia for a ranking tournament where they would eventually try to qualify for the Olympics as the Olympic qualifiers, one of the series. So yes, they've been very, very busy, and I commend them for that. They talk most of the time of not having the funds to travel with a complete contingent, but somehow, somewhere, Daniel Igali finds a way with the support from the government, also from his pocket sometimes, to get the teams to where they need to be, Serbia to Morocco, to wherever they need to get qualifications and rankings to keep them in a better suited place to qualify for major tournaments. So I think, yes, they've been very, very, very busy, and I think they should keep it up with more sponsors. They will initially do great things in Nigeria.
Great things to come the way of wrestlers here in Nigeria, especially with the classic bill to take place at the Samson Sessia Stadium in Yenigua in the next 48 hours, and we hope we will throw up the very best of wrestlers, especially those that will be representing Nigeria at the Olympic Games. Let's go away from wrestling now and take a look at cycling. And it must interest you to know that a group of 4 cyclists, remarkably female, are set to embark on an extraordinary journey to participate in an international cycling championship. Because this is a novelty, all female, this time going to represent Nigeria in Glasgow, that's in the United Kingdom. This is 4 fearless and I must say determined senior female cyclists here in Nigeria.
Yes, I think one of them that will be presenting, that will be going for that cycling championship, has also qualified for the Olympics as well. The president of the federation in Giamenico, he spoke of what they've been doing to get the sport to greater heights. It used to be something we appreciated here in Rivers State, but in recent times we haven't been able to catch up. So they need to get the cyclists more championship to participate in, to keep them fit ahead of the Olympics. Of course, one of them, like I said, qualified for the Olympics. So it's to get her to compete with the best of the best and let her get acquainted with the things that she would need to do at the Olympics. And they too have been quite busy. Remember, they had a championship here in Port Harcourt. I think that was earlier this year, and it was fantastic. I was there to watch that one. I enjoyed it. It was really, really entertaining. And if they continue in that trajectory, they could, also bring medals from the Olympics.
Well, talking about female cyclists representing still no individual Nigerian gold medalists at the Olympic Games. Doctors, it looks very disturbing, but we are yet to see. If you remember, Choma Ajua did a leap 7.12 meters way back 44 years ago, and thereafter we are still not at the gold spot on the podium.
Yes, we aren't there yet. We've gotten a couple of silvers. The last time out, we got a couple of silver in Tokyo. We got a bronze, but that is the best we can do, right? But I think we aren't there yet. We aren't doing the needed things to get us to the gold spot. We talk about the likes of Toby Amuson, who is currently undergoing a suspension until she can revert that decision coming from World Athletics, as well as Ese Brume, who we love to tip to get us medals in any tournament when it comes to the long jump. You look at, I think those are our our medal hopefuls. You want to look at it. Yeah, some of our wrestlers as well, in Udwanya Adekure, as well as Blessing Oboro-Dudu. These are medal hopefuls. But when we win medal, we're not talking about the gold because it's quite difficult. You're going against the best of the best from across the United States, China, the rest of them in the world, the Great Britain. So you've got to be at your very best. And I don't think we're there yet. For now, I think we should be good with the silver and bronze that we get.
Well, for the record, Nigeria in the history of the Olympic Games has won only 3 gold medals. The last one coming from Choma Juan way back 40 years ago. This is really hoping that we can do, get to that gold spot at the podium come Paris 2024. But one of our brightest hope, you mentioned Toby Amuson, at the Olympic Games next year, seem to be right now in the troubled waters with the integrity unit of the World Athletics. She's been suspended for missing 3 out of competition tests. She's pleading an alibi that a couple of days after the last the thing that would be good enough for her to have some reprieve just ahead of
out of competition tests, you will be suspended for 2 years. It happened to Kingsley Coman of the United States, and if she can prove that she at least had 1 test done, it could be reduced to maybe 1 year or thereabouts. But I think it's going to take longer. She might miss the World Championship in Budapest. I don't know. I feel so sad. We've already seen a blessing, Okagbare going through that 11 years ban from athletics. That's the longest time ever. When she returns, she'll be like 42 or thereabout.
Right.
So it's devastating for Nigerians. But if Toby can prove her innocence, maybe reduce 6 months, 1 year, we can get from her.
But it looks disturbing. She missed the first one, and that should have been some kind of an alarm bell for her. She missed the second one again, and did miss the third one. Though she said a few days after the third miss, she was able to submit herself for the test. But what is the role of her handlers, especially the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, in ensuring that she keeps up with this? Because she's informed, and the federation as well is informed about this impromptu out of competition test.
These are more questions that we need to find answers to. First off, she has a team.
Right.
A team of coaches, a team, not just coaches, of therapists, of people who work with her and should understand what it means if you miss an out of competition test. And they have been doing that. I know that she's been subjected to a lot of tests ever since she broke the world record back there in the World Championship, where she won the gold medal, of course. And immediately after that race, she had tests on, and she's been getting tested like it's nobody's business. But these out of competition tests are very, very vital. Yes, there is a role where your team and also from the AFN, and that's the worrying part of it.
Well, there's a lot of questions to be answered by the Athletics Federation of Nigeria over the imminent suspension of Nigeria's best athlete. You remember, she is the only Nigerian athlete in over 60 years to win in a world record in the hurdles event, 110 meters hurdle event. Remember that 12.12 seconds where she got to winning the only world record, setting the only world record by a Nigerian at an international sporting event. So she is our most prized asset when it comes to athletics, and we really want to see that she's giving all the support you can get. You remember Blessing Okagbare, like she mentioned there, record, the only Nigerian with a world record in any sport event at all. Let's stay away from that and just pray. Pro Basketball Championship. Well, we will say this is Nigerians' fault. We always winning the Afro Basketball Championship. Can they win in the heat of all of this?
Technically speaking, the old players didn't shun the tournament. It was the NBBF who decided to do a tryout, to get a tryout done.
Open trial?
Yes, to bring in new faces into the squad. Some would say that the president of the federation, in Musa Kida, still holds grudges against the older players due to, of course, them speaking out of their monies being owed by the federation. So yes, open trials done. Players picked, just a couple of them returning that have been with the team in Palace, in Emi Okonkwo, Sarah Ogoke, and Nicole Nabuso, which of course they're all there with the team as we speak in Rwanda. So it's not easy. We've seen how difficult it's been. Yes, they've won. They have a flawless record so far down there in Rwanda, the Afrobasket.
tries to counterpunch.
Welcome back. It's Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network, and I have with me Dr. Skoki, one of the foremost female sports journalists here in Nigeria, and together we're reviewing the latest happening around the world of sports. And time for us to look at football, but we'll start on the local scene as usual. Only at the weekend we saw what they call the Prosperity Cup being won out there in Bayelsa. Dorcas, this is your home state, and a lot of activities seem to be going on sports-wise in Bayelsa State, courtesy of the governor of the state, Doidiri, who incidentally was a former sports commissioner in the state. But we've seen a flurry of several sports disciplines, being hosted, activities being hosted in Bayelsa State. And this time around, ex-footballers came together and to throw up participate in the Prosperity Cup tournament. This is good news, especially for the very, let's say in quotes now, not too popular states, Bayelsa State.
Well, yes, Bayelsa State wants to be like Delta State and Edo State, who seem to be doing everything possible to put sports in the map, and that's what Bayelsa State governor has been doing with the Prosperity Cup as well as other tournaments. And the board, the MPFL board, of having a conversation if they're going to go back to the abridged format or go back to the 38 league format. I don't know what they're going to agree. Remember, before the last season was executed, the IMC had conversations with the chairman of the clubs that they are going for the abridged league season because of time constraints, right? So if we're going to start the league on the 26th, they promised we're just going to be that season. So if they're going to start the league on the 26th, they have to agree if it's the abridged format or the 38 league format.
Well, let's hope that we'll have a full season because the whole idea of having a bridge, we are told, was to realign with the CAF calendar. And the CAF calendar has been out, and if we start in August, I'm sure we should go to align with other teams across the continent, and of course in Europe as